All right. Should I start already? All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Adam. I represent Hinkal, shared privacy layer, and I'll be talking briefly about how we're kind of changing the game for privacy on chain. So right now we've seen democratization of shared security with projects like EigenLayer, Symbiotic, and Karak. Essentially what EigenLayer allows is restaking of Ethereum tokens, which means basically that you can delegate value and security of Ethereum to other dApps and protocols and AVSs to essentially bootstrap a new project really easily. And there's currently many billions of dollars locked of economic security. And what does it mean, shared security? What does it mean? It combines the assets and reuses it for something else. So you can reuse a staked Lido Ethereum to secure your application. And it gives you many yield-bearing tokens like EETH, EasyETH, and others. We are introducing shared privacy, which basically reuses Ethereum or other liquid assets to create privacy for users of our dApp and of our SDK, which I'll talk about in a moment. And these liquid derivative tokens allow us to essentially give yield to holders of those tokens from those private transactions that are done through our decentralized application and our SDK. And in turn, this staked value increases our privacy pool. Here is like a brief overview of how it works. Essentially, we have a shielded pool on Ethereum that is allowing our users through relayers to be able to have private transactions. So maybe just to make it clearer and easier to understand, I'll briefly describe what Hinkal does in general and what's the concept. So essentially, we are allowing private transactions on chain. So you're able to implement Hinkal SDK into any dApp or wallet to use a shielded wallet address instead of your public wallet address. So instead of your 0x wallet address, it's actually shown as Hinkal smart contract on chain. And the problem with that is the typical public service provisioning problem is that the people who provide the privacy cannot use the privacy themselves. So people who provide the value for shared privacy cannot get the benefit of privacy because they're the biggest player. And if you're the biggest player, then you are not private because you're visible. There is something called pretty good privacy, and it's achieved at maximally 10% of the shielded pool. That's why we're introducing shared privacy, so people can increase our shielded pool by delegating their Ethereum, and in turn, we share our revenues with holders of those tokens. And it's very interesting that our service is cross-chain. So we're also renting the privacy of Ethereum to other chains. So you can implement our SDK on any network out of the major EVM networks that we currently support and benefit from being able to use private relayer addresses instead of your on-chain public address while staying private. And we have a very cool ecosystem regarding this. We're welcoming curators who, if you know any project that would be interested in implementing privacy, let me know because we have incentives for curators. We have incentives for dApps implementing our privacy SDK because we take 10 bips, 0.1% of every private transaction from any dApp. Imagine a DEX, and so on and so forth. And this DEX can benefit from a revenue share from those private transactions. And also we introduce staking delegates who allow for easy staking of HETH, which we also revenue share with. So we're introducing a new asset class, H tokens. For example, H staked ETH or HETH. So in return for the security of Ethereum, of the value that we received in the smart contract, you receive 2 to 5% APY. And this revenue comes from revenue share from private transactions. So instead of shared security, we're introducing shared privacy. So we're making one giant global privacy pool that everybody can securely use. And who needs this solution? We currently work with a lot of top liquid funds, payment networks like Tether, and token vesting. So liquid funds are protected against MEV attacks and from copy trading. So their trades cannot be front-run. Their trades, you can liquidate tokens without anybody knowing. You can execute strategies, buying, selling, swapping, liquidity provision, without anybody knowing your strategy. For payments, the narrative is pretty obvious. You just don't want payments to be public for regular goods. And finally, token vesting. If you're an investor or a founder, you can securely vest your tokens within Hinkal smart contracts and liquidate them without anybody knowing, so without causing fear, uncertainty, or doubt. And here's how it currently works. So currently, we only have our dApp, and we're only launching staking and the SDK later this month. So it's very exciting times for us. That's why we're especially eager and keen to onboard new players, new dApps, and curators and staking delegates. So essentially how it works is before anybody can use the protocol, we're using a zero-knowledge proof verification based on the identity check. So we accept soulbound tokens from Binance, Coinbase, other SEXs, and also multiple zero-knowledge identity credentials like ZKMe and previously also 0xKYC, for example. We then mint an access token. The users can send or receive funds from our shielded address. Users are in full custody of their funds at all times. And we don't know, even we don't know what the users are doing within the smart contract. We are not able to locate who is using which relayers, which is unlike many other privacy solutions. So even it's obfuscating even to us. And essentially, in the dApp, we integrated all the top DeFi protocols, so you can use them within our dApp. But what we're enabling right now in the V2 is the SDK that you can implement the private shielded wallet addresses into any dApp or a wallet. And progress, we are increasing the amount of private transactions. So currently we have actually 250 million total value anonymized since the beginning of last year, and 20 million TVL, but this is going to greatly increase because this is pre-staking, so we're just introducing staking right now. And you can see the chart of how many transactions per month we are processing privately. It was 20 million in July. It was actually 45 million in August. And the market is huge for privacy on-chain. It's a growing market. We have a legal opinion from Fenwick, and it's actually a compliant and legitimate privacy protocol. So it's kind of a new narrative because previously people thought it's impossible to do privacy on-chain legally because we've seen some bad precedents in the past. And we have a really strong pipeline of trading firms. We've been basically accelerated by Stanford Blockchain, Binance, and have top investors behind our, supporting us. And the pipeline of projects, these are some of the publicly available information about our projects, but we're also partnering with Symbiotic to create Mellow Vaults and to even restake further. But we're working with lending protocols, token vesting protocols, and DEXs. And as mentioned before, we are doing compliance checks in order to be compliant, but we actually do not collect any personally identifiable information. And we are creating these shared privacy tokens, which are yield-bearing. Here's our team. So we also have a chief compliance officer from Circle and CEO of Kraken as our advisors and our co-founders who created this project. And here are our backers, who are also some of our users. And unfortunately, I cannot disclose all of our liquid funds that we work with, since we're a privacy protocol, and not many of our clients actually want to disclose that they're actually using our platform, but the the amount of them is growing, and we really hope to see more and more dApps integrating our platform and more stakers staking HETH. Thank you very much.
Do we have any questions from the room? Okay. Thank you, Adam.